Hi guys, welcome back to Nebula Fox Toy Reviews. Today we are going to be taking a look at some older Jurassic World figures. These are from back in the early days of Mattel, because I got most of these from Rex's Reviews, York Unleashed, quite a few weeks ago now. So these were all loose figures that I bought of him, so there's going to be no unboxing for them. So we have the Fierce Force Chialingosaurus that we're going to be taking a look at. We've got the battle damaged Plesiosaurus to look at. We've got the Savage Strike Plesiosaurus. The Savage Strike Tapejara. And finally, the Attack Pack Mononykus. This is the original Mononykus. I do believe I've reviewed the repaint on the channel, but this is the original. So, yeah. All of those figures, like I said, I got secondhand from Rex's Reviews. They're pretty much my number one place to go to for everything dinosaurs, everything Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. They're definitely my number one place to go to for Hammond collection in the UK. Yes, they can be a little bit late with getting the Hammond collection, but they're the most reliable for getting the Hammond collection once you've actually placed an order with them. So anyway, let's head on over to the review table and get a closer look at these older Jurassic World figures. Okay, here we are. Here are all of the random figures, and I'm going to start with the most basic one on here, which is the original Mononykus. Now, all of these figures that I'm reviewing today, if you're a Jurassic collector, most of you will already have, but these are ones that I missed out on, either because I just wasn't fast enough, I just couldn't find them at all, or, very limited release, which means they were nearly impossible for me to find. This Mononykus is one that I just couldn't find. This wave of, because this is a Dino Rivals figure, this wave, which includes this Tapejara as well, seemed to just come and go really quickly, and I didn't manage to catch it, but I'm so glad that I've now got it, because my god, this figure is beautiful. The eyes are painted really well on both sides, and to say I got this secondhand, I got all of these secondhand. None of them have any major paint rub. Like, I found one of this guy on Vinted, and while, the head and the body looked okay, the feet had so much paint rub on them that you could just see this light grey colour more than you could the yellow. It was very eye-catchingly paint rubbed. Whereas this one, it's as if I've just opened it out the box. There's no paint rub really on any of the claws. A little tiny bit there, but not enough to say, yes, this has been played with by a kid previously. But yeah, very nice, nicely painted eyes. A little tiny slop on this side, but it's no biggie. You've got a nice little red patch under the throat. And then you got that dark blue has some stripes on the back, and the dark blue is on the tip of the tail, with the feet being yellow like a chicken. Articulation wise, the head can move up and down, the arms can go back and forth, the legs they're a bit stiff, but the legs can go back and forth as well, and the tail can rotate, the pointless tail rotation. Now, because this is one of the older figures, it has the scan code under the feet. These all have the scan codes on the feet, by the way. So yeah, there we go. There's that Mononykus. Up next, we'll go to the other Dino Rivals figure, which is the Tapejara, or Tapejara. I don't know how you actually meant to pronounce it. The head crest is a bit bent on mine because it was in a plastic bag, but I'll be able to bend it back. This one, like the Mononykus, I never actually saw this one in the wild. So I think people just love this one so much that this one came and went really quickly. Because a lot of people seem to be able to find it, except me. But anyway, the head is very striking. Kind of reminds me of a clown, because you've got all this colour, and you've got the red makeup around the eye, and you've got the big, stupid clown smile. So it kind of reminds me of a clown, does this one? But I love it still. So the eyes are painted very nicely on both sides. There's no paint underneath it, it's all just that colour. You got all the paint on the top, so the wings have this beautiful pattern on them. And for articulation, you can open the mouth pretty far. The inside of the mouth is painted really nicely. You can rotate the head and also make it look up and down. This head is very loose on mine. I mean, it's not loose enough that it's going to fall off, but it's loose enough to make me think that, you know, to not play with that neck joint too much, apart from the up and down. The legs, yeah, they are articulated, but they're kind of stupid. They can go down like that, and then they can go all the way up like that, and they can also rotate, which I feel is a little bit stupid. I mean, this bit I could understand. I'm going down like that because it could be like the dinosaurs coming down to grab someone, and Pterosaur is coming down to grab someone and then it flies off with them. But apart from that, I don't really get it. Now, because this is a Savage Strike figure, they do have their gimmicks. Press the button on the back and the wings flap. It's a bit stiff because this button is tiny. Look at the size of this button compared to my thumb. It's a very small button, but it works. And here is the scan code. Yay, scan codes. You've probably almost certainly got all the scan codes from these figures already. Up next we'll do the Savage Strike Plesiosaurus. Now this one, I believe, just had a very limited release in the UK. The Savage Strikes were pretty much like the little gimmicky figures like this. So the Savage Strikes were pretty much, you could only find them in Smiths. If you found them elsewhere, you got pretty damn lucky. But Smiths is like the easiest place to find them. And I think just through the period of Dino Rivals, I must have just not really gone to Smiths that much. Because there's a lot of Dino Rivals figures that I missed out on. So anyway, the eyes have been painted pretty well on this one. I don't know if this one is just a faint paint job or if it's paint rub from the previous owner. I don't know. Inside the mouth, the back of the throat, the fleshy bits and the tongue have been painted really nicely. The roof of the mouth has not been painted, but oh well. But the whole figure has these nice blue markings running through it, except on the tail. There's no markings on the tail. But even on the unpainted bits, you can make out these specks in it that are the same blue as these markings. So it's not like it's been left unpainted completely. They've put the specks in the plastic to give it the colour. Give it a bit of colour. You can see it best on the underbelly. Oh look, a scan code. There you go. For articulation, you've got the mouth as you've seen. There's this little bit of the neck, which is the head, so it can look up and down and also swivel. And then you've got the main part where the neck meets the body, but you can go all the way up. And then down is pretty much just straight out. So if you wanted the Nessie pose, you'd do that. And then you've also got the tail, which can go up and down, which is once again a bit of a pointless bit of articulation, if you ask me. The tail articulation on all of them, except Ankylosaurus and Stegosaurus, is kind of pointless. With this being a Savage Strike, we do have the action feature again, and for this one, it's the flippers. So it can swim. which is pretty cool. I like that gimmick. I think some people have said that theirs doesn't work the best. I don't know if it's this one or the later version, which was like the deeper blue one for Camp Cretaceous. But they've said their flippers don't work the best, but mine work. They work pretty well on this one. Moving on, we've got the Fierce Force Chialingosaurus. So the Fierce Force was like the follow-on from Savage Strike. They were the same sort of figures, but Fierce Force was just the new name for that line. So this is the Chialingosaurus, a stegosaur. So we've got nicely painted eyes on both sides of this. On both sides, in focus please. Tiny bit of slop on this side, but nicely painted on this side. And a nicely painted beak. With a little bit of colour being in the front legs and around the chest region. And then you've got this paler blue. I don't know how well you can see it on camera. But you've got this paler blue stripe going down the back. Nothing on top though. But then you've got the tail spikes painted. It's a bit of a shame they didn't, paint the plates as well. I could understand them wanting to make the tail spikes stand out, but they could have painted the... Like, even if they just had this blue, this lighter blue on the spikes, or this orange on the spikes, it would have looked nicer. But for articulation, the head is on a ball joint. Sorry, I had to work that a bit. So you've got up and down and side to side. The legs can go back and forth and also out to the side. This toy was not played with that much by its previous owner. These joints are very stiff. Back legs... Oh shit. Back legs can go forward and back. And also out to the side. That sounded like something... Oh, nothing broke. I think I just loosened the leg. So that's it for articulation. And now this one's action gimmick is if you move the tail from side to side, the front end of the body does the same. So it's like it's attacking with its shoulder spikes. Now I thought the way around it would have been to move the front end of the body and the tail moved. But if you do it that way, the tail barely moves. Whereas if you do it with moving the tail, there is a lot of movement in the front half. So I believe it is you're meant to move the tail and then the front half of the body moves. So yeah, Chialingosaurus. And finally, we have the battle-damaged Plesiosaurus. Now this one, as with all the battle-damaged figures, in the UK, it was pretty much non-existent. If you were lucky, you might have found some battle damage figures in Asda. Because with the battle damage being a Walmart exclusive, Asda is in the Walmart family. So Asda is basically the UK's version of Walmart. So sometimes the figures may have slipped through and we might have got them in Asda. This one, however, I believe did not make it to the UK. So I believe this one was just in the States, because I never saw it in an Asda. But I have it now, thanks to Rex's reviews, and I'm so glad I have it, because it's a really nice figure. A really nice figure. The battle damage wound is rather small, and you honestly, unless you look at it from the top and spot the little peg, you can't really see it that well, so it's a well hidden one. So that's very nice. Colour patterns wise, I believe it's the same. Is it the same pattern as this one? No, the pattern is ever so slightly different, but it's generally the same. Articulation is also the same, bar the fins. So we've got the mouth that opens up. So once again, the tongue and the fleshy bits are painted, but the roof of the mouth is not. Eyes... a bit sloppy on this side, but painted well on this side. You've got this joint here again, so you got up and down and swivel. And you've also got this joint, which is just up and down. The tail doesn't actually move on this one. The tail does not move. But the flippers can go forward and back, same with the front, same with the back ones. And they can also go up and down. So if you wanted to display this one, you could actually have it up like so. Whereas this one, because of the gimmick, pretty much the only way to display this one would be the Nessie pose. Whereas with this one, you can put it in sort of a more natural pose in a way. Oh, I almost forgot. There's another scan code. I don't think I gave you the Chialingosaurus' scan code. Here you go. Hold on. There we go. Scan code for the Chialingosaurus. And then scan code again for the battle damaged Plesiosaurus. So, yeah. That's pretty much all I can say on these figures. I didn't want the video on these ones to be too long because, you know, these have existed for years now. And most of you will already have them. But, yeah. That is my review of those figures done. So thank you very much for watching, guys. And I shall see you all in the next video. Whatever that'll be. Bye!